Good morning, everyone. We're just waiting for the parties to join and then we can get started. So give us a couple minutes. Good morning again. For those who are joining, we are just waiting for the parties to join, then we can get started.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Shaun.
All right, we are just waiting for the respondent's attorney to join and then we can begin. Attorney Farrell, I believe I see you as an attendee, so if you can accept the request to join as a panelist, then we can get started.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Farrell.
Okay, I think we're good to get started if everyone's ready. Mr. Farrell, just before we begin, is your client joining or?
No.
Okay.
In fact, I'll address that too. We're trying to resolve the case and we just need more time. We've exchanged.
Just a minute, we're going to begin properly with
Sure.
with
Of course.
with Ms. Smith. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. The time is 10 o'clock a.m. And this is status conference in the matter of Joshua Heel before the Massachusetts Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission. This proceeding is open to the public. We are convening remotely over Zoom, and the status conference is being recorded. The Honorable Judith A. Cowin is the presiding officer over today's status conference. My name is Lizzie Smith, and I'm the hearings administrator for the Post Commission, and this matter is now before Judge Cowin.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'll begin with Mr. Martinez. I've received your memorandum, and why was initial discovery provided so late?
Yes, Your Honor. It's purely my fault. We had a hearing last week in a related matter. I was going through the discovery last week, and I recognized that a lot of the discovery for this matter is covered under protective orders in the other case. Typically, when we do protective orders on behalf of Post, the distribution of documents are limited only to the respondent and not to Post. In this particular case, I did not realize, even though I'm the one that drafted the protective orders, that both parties are restricted from disclosing any materials. We are set to do written submissions to the hearing officer in that matter later this week for release of discovery, but I have no excuse other than that, Your Honor.
Okay, and Mr. Farrell, I didn't receive any, the commission hasn't received any memorandum from you, and why is that?
Your Honor, we're trying to resolve the case now. I don't have any objection to Attorney Martinez providing what he provided. We've exchanged a draft voluntary disposition agreement. My client's certification has expired, and we're just trying to work out the language of that agreement. I'm also cognizant of, the time, effort, expense to my client and trying to be very conservative in that regard. I am confident that we'll be able to work out the language in an agreement. The current sticking point, as I understand it, that Attorney Martinez and I have been discussing is Post wants my client to admit to some of the factual allegations, which he denies. But at the same time, given the public attention to this case and that he'd like to move on, I left off with Attorney Martinez that I would speak with my client and see what he wants to do. But if and I don't want to guess or speculate, but he has moved on. He's a very, private person and really doesn't want to continue in the public light any more than he already has. I've said this before. I think it bears mentioning again. And the Superior Court has already ruled that he is on very, very different footing than the other respondents that I believe are before post. At least one is in the hearing process, and Mr. Heel does not has no interest in that. He has no interest in continuing with being a police officer. He has no interest in recertifying. But if his certification is voluntarily expired and he doesn't intend on renewing, in his view, that that should be it. He shouldn't be forced to admit to something that he disputes. But nonetheless, as everyone on this call knows, there's a very public component to that. There's risk, there's cost. So we're trying to work it out. So my request is fairly straightforward, Your Honor, and with respect to the commission and to Your Honor as well, just to have some more time and I was also delayed in getting Attorney Martinez my revisions to the agreement that he drafted. So and I sent those yesterday. So I'm also on the hook for some delay that's attributable to me and certainly my schedule. I've been underwater literally. So that's the status of things at the moment.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, do you foresee that this matter will be resolved voluntarily?
So I have been in discussions with Mr. Farrell. We drafted an agreement that we had anticipated would be acceptable to Mr. Heel, which is a little bit, I guess, closer to the request of the officer than we typically do. However, the revisions were a little bit further off than I was expecting. As Mr. Farrell stated, it's possible that we'll still be able to resolve. The next commission meeting is August 21st. So the agreement for that meeting to have it considered would be August 14th. So I believe we would have approximately 3 weeks to work out the details. I already forwarded, I had responded to Mr. Farrell's revisions yesterday, and then he responded again this morning. I've already forwarded that to my supervisor. I'm not sure how much wiggle room we have on the terms, but I'll let Mr. Farrell know likely within the next 24 hours if we do have any wiggle room on those terms that we had provided.
Well, if you're working toward a resolution, is it necessary to move forward with the protective order problem?
I think in order to move this along quickly, it's better to put it on the other hearing officer's radar than not. Given the volume of materials that were exchanged in the previous matter, we're talking tens of thousands of pages. I'd prefer to make a request now in anticipation that discovery will be necessary rather than delay this another month. But I would expect it to take a little time given the volume of materials in the other matter.
All right. Well, then the next step should be to schedule another hearing, but the hearing would have to be after August 21st because we won't know anything until then. And when do you anticipate some movement on the protective order, Mr. Martinez?
So we're required to submit papers by Friday. I'm actually out on Friday, so I'll be submitting by tomorrow. There wasn't a timeline given. However, I can note the next date of our pre-hearing memo or the date of our next pre-hearing conference in our papers so that the other hearing officer is aware. It is Judge Fishman. So I'll include that detail if we set another conference.
All right, but I'm missing one thing. You mentioned a date by which something is due.
Yes, that's on Friday. Essentially, the hearing officer asked us to submit to give a written submission on the status of the protective order and what our belief as far as the extent of the protective order, given that the hearing is now closed and we're in the process of submitting closing arguments. The hearing officer just so happened to issue that order on Monday and is requiring submissions by Friday. I anticipate that I'll be submitting my written papers tomorrow.
Okay. And when do you anticipate you will be able to provide additional discovery to Mr. Farrell?
As soon as the hearing officer issues a decision, the materials are ready. I've already preemptively marked them for redaction for the personal identifying information, but I believe that I have everything ready to go after that. I provided approximately 250 pages to Mr. Farrell, and then right now I have approximately 150 additional pages. It's possible that there may be a few more, but I believe that that's it. Mr. Farrell has not provided discovery demands, but these are what I'm anticipating will be the division's exhibits, which is what I'm preparing for disclosure.
So there are, in other words, we're moving on two tracks here. One is the protective order and the materials to be provided to the respondent, and the other is a resolution of this.
Yes, I believe that's fair to say.
Mr. Farrell, do you agree with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, then I think the next thing to do is to set a date for the next hearing. Mr. Martinez, if the commission meets on the 21st of August, if they, you'll have your agreement ready by then, you hope?
I anticipate that we will, yes.
Mr. Farrell, you agree with that?
Yeah, it's got, I understand. I just wrote it down, Your Honor. The, it looks like we need to hammer out whatever it is we hammer out by the 14th. And
Right.
then the commission meets on the 21st. So I would suggest if you're taking dates anytime after that, the following week, the earlier the better, or the week after Labor Day, the later in the week the better. Either of those are fine, or whatever Your Honor's schedule is.
Okay. Mr. Martinez, do you anticipate any vacation the last week of August or the first week of September?
No, I do not. And I have, for the next conference, I have been in touch with the witnesses, so I'll have their schedules ready, just in case.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll schedule the next hearing on Tuesday, August 26th at 10 a.m.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I understand your desire to reduce the expense of your client, Mr. Farrell, but pre-hearing memoranda are beneficial so that I have some understanding of what's going on before we start these conferences. You did not file a submission for this hearing, but a submission will be required by August 22nd for the next one. Well, that doesn't give you very much time, but.
Understood.
All right, August 22nd. But Mr. Martinez, you're familiar with the way the commission works. Would you have the result of their August 21st meeting? When would you have that?
Yes, so I'll be attending the August 21st session where they discuss any potential agreements, so I know their decision immediately.
All right, so then it would seem to me that you could file a joint memorandum, which would make it simpler for the parties by August 22nd.
Yes.
All you have to do is this. All I would need at that point is the status of the case, what happened on the 21st, the status of the case, and any matters you believe will need resolution immediately, such as these protective orders.
Yes.
Because if we're going to move forward, we've got to act on them. All right. So the next time I will see you will be on Tuesday, August 26th at 10 o'clock. And I expect memorandum to be filed by the end of the day on Friday, August 22nd. Okay. Is that
Yes.
agreeable to both parties, Mr. Martinez
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Farrell?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else that needs to be addressed before we adjourn?
No.
Not today.
Okay, then thank you both, and the hearing is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Have a good day.
Thank you as well.